All right, we're streaming now. Okay. Should be up. Should be up. Should be up. I'm going to see if my video preview is up. Sometimes this causes feedback. Hold on just a second. Okay. What is this? Okay. All right, everyone. Should be good. Looks like we're up and running. Okay. Welcome to the stream. So today, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk a little bit about what we've been working on, of course. So I'll just make sure I've got all these shards. Fire shard, storm shard. Okay, good. I have evidence that my thing is working. Okay. So hello. So what have we been working on? Well, let me turn my sound up so I can make sure it's working. Hopefully, can you guys hear? If you turn it up enough, you can hear the game. You hear that? It's a sound effect. What I've been working on is going through and adding sound effects to the game in various places. So, like we said last time, we're trying to just make it so that the game is a little more polished, so that it can appeal to a wider audience. And we've been talking about what the next big feature is. And I know last week we asked you guys for what you wanted to do, and we've been having trouble deciding like what is the next big feature that we want to implement. So, if you guys today want to talk more about that, hey, what's up, Discord, Ace Robbie Den, and Sleep Z8? We got good to see you guys here. So, kind of in the meantime, we've been going through and fixing a lot of these things that have just been bothering us, and trying to get them fixed out. So I'm just going to show off some of the sound effects that we have to try to make the game feel a little more live and alive, a little more polished. It was something that needed to be done. We've been wanting to do it for a while. We just haven't got around to it yet. So one thing, the purple. Hold on, I'll show you why. You see this? Well, it's just my background. Windows 10 automatically detects what color. Maybe Windows 8 does that too. I didn't really use Windows 8. I went from 7 to 10. But Windows 10 automatically detects what the predominant color of your background is, and then makes all your windows everything. So anyway, all right. So we did add a new spell in today, or this week, or we're going to add it in when the update comes out. And I don't have an icon for it, but down, you can't see me pointing, but down here, if I go in here, this spell right here, Regrowth, is part of the healing shard. I'm just using the stone skin icon, just a placeholder. But it's just a spell that will go with it. And what it does is it's a really low mana cost spell that you cast it, and it applies it's similar to drinking a potion. It's not quite as powerful, but it lasts a lot longer. It's just a small regen buff that it applies to you. And it does go up with Lifeblood scaling. It scales with how good you are at Lifeblood, like all of our spells should be scaling. So yeah, you heard the sound effect to it. Says, I recall you mentioning that there will be a boss fight against a bandit leader, and he would dual wield. The bandit in the new side quest you have killed uses a shovel and is the anticlimactic boss of Ez. Will he eventually become the bandit leader? The bandit leader that you're going to fight for the side quest is separate from that guy. Yeah, he's just a side quest guy, and he wasn't balanced for his strength very, very much. But we did want to make a really easy quest so you could get that ring pretty easily, because a lot of people had trouble with the boss, and that was one way we could find to make it a little bit easier. So that's why that happened. But no, we do want to have the dual wielding. So the dual wielding bandit boss is different from that, and we are still planning on getting him in. Actually, a lot of work has been done to get him into the game this week. He probably won't make it for the next update, but he'll be probably in the next update, and hopefully we'll have a quest line associated with getting up to him and everything. So hopefully that answers your question. That wasn't it, though. The shovel-wielding Gomon is not the bandit leader. He'll be a lot bigger than that, so they're separate. I know it was anticlimactic, and dual wielding will also come with, wow, some boots. So, I know. But we wanted you to be able to take on the hammer skeleton while not getting just taken out by those bolts. Especially since, yeah, and that scythe is pretty brutal. So, anyway, some more sound effects that we got. Just try to make things feel a little more real. So that one's stone skin. Can get confusing. Will you be able to use tools as a legitimate weapon type? Yes. Yes. Tools are a legitimate weapon type. And they will be something that you can fight with, and there are going to be other tools added to the game pretty soon. So they're going to have other purposes aside from fighting, but you can fight with them, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I think it does. Yeah, I'm going to go. Oh, let's see. Here's the healing sound effect. I didn't play that one yet. Oh, maybe I did. I don't remember. I got an ice one. Not all these are quite done yet. I have a lot of them done, but they're not all quite done. So they're also in 3D space. So I don't know if if it'll come through the stream really well. But like if I cast this spell really close to myself, you can hear it really well, and if I cast it far off, it's a lot quieter. So all these sounds exist in 3D space, so that if somebody is stomping over there, you'll be able to hear them. I'm actually going to put the stone one back in. So my goal is to take out the... What am I doing? Oh, this is the stomp spell. We don't want that regen spell. We'll put that over here. It's confusing. Stone skin. That's what I want. All right. So I'm going to go take out the sergeant. Yeah. So anyway, this is probably going to be a shorter one because, like I said, we've been going through. There was another optimization. We did some more LODs on some of the rocks. We're trying to get more frames out of our game. We're kind of concerned because as we move in the future, as we move to bigger islands and everything, there's going to be a lot more. Like, polygons and just a lot more stuff. And so we're not, like, I don't think our game's unstable at all. I mean, I know there's been a few people who've had a couple of problems running it. Like, I don't know. But for the most part, I feel like we're at a pretty stable place with our game. And so we just wanted to keep it that way, if that makes sense. The ability to sheath my weapons would be nice. Walking up to the weapons and with weapons drawn makes things a bit awkward. Yeah. Sheathing your weapons is... That would just require us to get the animations that we need in order to do it. And it's not hard, it's just we have to get them, So, just kind of depends on where we prioritize, as always. I know these sound effects have been something that we've been wanting to get in for a while, though, because the game... We still have another, like, battle music is something maybe we can also get in this next update. I don't think that should be too hard. But sounds really change things. Like, the game sounded kind of, like, lonely or something. I don't know. Like, it was really far away or something. And so having sound effects really, it adds more than, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's, like, hard to remember to do, and it's hard to focus on when you're trying to build a game, but it adds a lot. So, anyway, I'm going to go up here, and we're going to... I remembered... What I'm going to work on today is I've never killed the Valaran Sergeant on the stream, so that's what I'm going to do today. I need to follow Nanny Oggins' guide to do it. Hey, where'd the particle go? Oh, I don't have... Oh. I guess I don't have that sound. That's weird. Okay, well, whatever. Hopefully I still respawn there. There was some versioning confusion going on, so maybe something weird happened there, but hopefully it works out. So, yeah. I'm going to try and kill the Valaran Sergeant. These guys, I've had this character for a long time. He's like the guy that I've used him a lot, and so he's like he's really tough. What am I with unarmed weapon? Oh, that's acrobatics. What am I with just unarmed awful? Oh, I'm not that good. You can also do the block counter. Oh, man, he got me. Look at that, though. Now I'm surfing down the hill on his thing. What are you going to do about it? You're going to get owned. That's right. The block counter. Oh, yeah, you talked about that in your guide, didn't you? Yeah. That's a good one. I'm just going to go ham on him with my fist. Just beat him down. There is a nerf to the game, though, because I added the this thing, like the cast animation to the heal spell. So there's kind of a nerf, like, yeah, it's kind of a nerf. Just own this guy. We can take him out, boys. Oh, come on, you can't hide behind that. Yeah, unarmed actually is OP. So my plan is to still do a I still want to do a weapon and like a balancing update, and that's coming in the next, little while. It's on our list of updates. It's not the next one. Might be soon thereafter. Maybe next month. Sometime next month. I really want to get like a whole set of just standard weapons out for everybody, and then rebalance how the damage scales with your skill and how the damage. Like, I kind of want to add in different tiers of weapons, like weapons that require a minimum threshold of skill to use effectively, and just ways to get your damage up without, like right now I think it's almost all skill is where your damage is coming from, so that's kind of what's going on right now. But anyway, again, I would really, one thing that we've been thinking about a lot is bows. Getting bows back in, that's probably getting pretty high on our list now. That might come in before the weapons update, so if you guys have any comments on that. Using one's fists should be a viable tactic. Brass knuckles, perhaps you've got the animations for it already after all. Yeah, so there might be fist weapons, but here's a thought that we've had. So like there is the thing with unarmed is, and having like weapons like brass knuckles, and I know we have the animations for it. So brass knuckles would be okay, but I think where fist weapons is going to go, or unarmed rather, is going to go, it's going to go the direction of being able to deal with an enemy that in like a way that no other skill exactly can very well. And that's a pretty vague thing to say. But what I mean is, like, there'll be a lot of, like, they'll, counterattacks. Like, they'll try to attack you and you'll grab them and trip them and push them to the ground, or tripping, or there'll be, like, things where you can maybe, like, jab them in the face and blind them. Stuff like that. Stuff that, like, makes it so man, this guy has so much health. He got me. Yeah, kind of like martial arts. And so, fist weapons, it's hard to say that like I exactly what direction we're going to take it, but why we haven't put brass knuckles in or just straight up fist weapons to make your fist hit harder is because it might make more sense later on to have just like the unarmed portion of the game be, totally unarmed. Maybe. Don't know yet. So, still thinking about that. And we do have a good idea for how to counter people's... oh, yeah, you want me to do block countering. I don't even have a shield. I'd have to go take one off of this thing, but... I'm just going to kill him with my fist. I'm just going to go crazy at him. Watch this, guys. This is how to do it. I added this spell. This is how to win the game. You just stack on regen. First of all, you get stone skin. Okay? And then you just stack these regen spells. Just stack these things. Don't even worry about it until I can't even get any more. Here we go. Here we go. He can't even mess with us now. Come on. Who's going to kill who? Who? You're going to kill me. Can't I got no mobility. That didn't work, guys. Not at all. Should block him. Block counter. Anyway, I'm really not very good at killing this guy. I don't. I'm not. I've only done it like I did it right when we released him, and I think I did like a block thing, and it took forever because I had to keep walking back. And at least it's saving us that this campsite's saving us a lot, makes things a lot nicer. Okay, okay. Come here, you jerk. Give me this thing. All right. Yeah. Oh, what the? You weren't. I was gonna meet you up there. All right, all right. Come on. What are you gonna do? He's stuck in the floor. I think he's stuck in the floor. These we need to put better physics proxies on these things, don't we? Oh man, I've noticed this actually happens. Him getting stuck, like not just him, but like on these boards, the way they were made is we actually place the individual boards, and what we need to go is put like a long physics proxy. Well, you know what? Actually, we're gonna like redesign this whole area. So let me just fly really far away so he despawns and then respawns. Is that the bug you're talking about? How he gets stuck inside the board sometimes? Okay, we'll fix that. I know how to fix it. So I know how to fix that. Yeah, that was because this thing was designed a long time ago. This is one of the older, this is one of the least visited areas that we have right now. Oh, he's still stuck there. You're ruining everything. Oh yeah, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hit him right in the face. You can do it. You can do it. Hey, got out. Okay. And his fire sword's really good. Oh yeah, he blocks you. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm not doing very good, guys. Oh man. I also got the geometry stuck on the geometry when I accidentally deleted the screenshot and clearing out duplicates. Yeah, that's gonna happen. This geometry, my only excuse is that it's a little older, and we've gotten a little better at. Well, not we. I mean, our art designer was great from the beginning, and I think I knew that this stuff was here. I just forgot to mention it, so that's all. Oh, did I pass him? Is he back up in his tent? He probably went back up in his tent. Oh, there he is. So if you get stuck on the geometry or something like that, just let us know. But I knew that this stuff was kind of sticky like that. So, okay, stone skin. When block countering, don't throw more than 2 punches per counter. All right, those are good pieces of advice. Here we go. Stone skin. Keep your shield up. Come on, man. Wham. I didn't hit him. Kick him. I got a few hits on him that time. Not enough. But we'll take him out. We will take him out. Eventually. I could use spells. I could use I'm not using any of these. I could use these to... Ooh, I'll use this. Hiccup. Alright. Yeah, seriously. Well, that's actually not going to work anymore because I nerfed the heal spell really bad. Didn't you see? The healing... I renamed it because somebody was pointed out that it had a dumb... the name that was hard to... So I named it Healing Light. And so, anyway... I nerfed it, man. Look, you can't just insta-cast. It's straight up a full-on cast now, so that's nerfed. Oh, man. Okay, let's try this. Oh, the vial. The vial's good. I managed to kill with Arc after ages of running around. He's kind of a big jerk. See, this is like something that I think it would help if we had like better weapons for Oh, you fell into the wood, huh? Classic Valarin Sergeant. Oh. Oh, you know his armor is healing him? I might not be able to. Whew. Man, he's hard. Get away. See you guys later. I'm gonna die. I wouldn't let him kill me. I had to kill myself. I think the only way to do this is to just... I can't cheat. I can't use my developer cheats. Just gotta keep getting hits off on him. So anyway, while I'm fighting this guy, I want you guys to think about... So we have... I think we might do bows next. Maybe we'll start on that pretty soon. It probably won't make it. This update's going to be more of like a little tweaks, you know, sound, adding sound files, adding some frame optimizations, and a few things like that. Adding in things that we need to. Oh, I didn't do stone skin. Just got to start running around until I can do stone skin. Oh, yeah. So if you guys can think of something where you want us to go with it. Says, I thought of something. When the player hits things a lot, their attack goes up. When the enemy hits things... Okay, he's not quite finished with that thought, I guess. Oh, they ganked me. When the enemy hits things a lot, does his do their... You're asking if the enemy gets better at skills? Like, does the enemy have a skill list that they're getting better at? Is that what you're asking? Because they don't. They don't get more life, more max life, and they don't get more... like better at their weapons. They don't get more damage. If that's what you were asking. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. We were thinking about doing that, but it would make fights like this. Oh, but will they? Well, we could make it like right now. They did by default, and we took it out because it seems like that would be... Man, how come this guy's not taking any more damage? I'm not doing any more damage to him. You guys seeing this? It's like I won't do damage to him. Lots of questions, even if rubbish would be good. Maybe some magic apparel to make mages a better class. Lots of quests. Okay, so quests is what you want. Quests. All right, well, here's the good news for you then. A guy that helps us write quests is coming up here from where he lives. Yeah, I wonder if my... And he's going to help us write these quests. This week. That's happening this week. He's coming up, I think on Wednesday. Or this next week, I should say. And we're going to do exactly what you said. Get like everywhere from longer, more involved quests to like some pretty well thought out ones that go on for a while. I don't know if I'm even doing damage to this guy. I'm going to get him right there. I bet he's right there. I don't know if he's right there. Oh, now that's damaging him. Yeah. What are you going to do when you're all slow? You're going to laugh when I kill myself with Ichor is what he's going to do. Okay. Hold on. I got to read this thing. Oh, now I'm doing damage. I think. Way down in the cycle, a system where you can upload your character, then other players can summon them to do battle. Only one upload per game, so you have to delete your old one to upload a new one. But if you provide incentive to really grind up those skills, and then player's ultimate challenge. Oh, so you're saying like you could download a guy. Okay, let's see. You could upload your character, then other players summon them to fight them. Like, would you control your guy? Would you have to? Would it be controlled, or would it be like an AI thing? Like you would just be a super skilled guy. A higher tier set of weapons would be nice. Ichor potion to reduce cost of shedding Ichor. Okay, well, yeah. The melon is kind of like an Ichor potion. But yeah, we do need that. You're right. I just got to go ham on this guy. I have so much life, I got to use it. Man, he has more though. Anyway, I think a higher set of weapons is important to me because, like I said, I want to get that out for the next update. I think quests. We could do quests. We could probably get pretty far with a lot of the quests. I'm thinking we could anyway. Oh, I was gonna try to stomp this guy. That's not useful, is it? It might be. How many stomps can you get? Because stomping would be kind of like the shield bash. It like interrupts him a little bit. Ooh, that was close. Although, why would you be able to stomp like that up here on these rafters? That's what I was. Oh! I missed. I hit the wrong button. Oh, I made some progress. It'd be AI, but the stats and the gear are the things. Also, the main quests and bosses would be good. Once the game reaches a solid 5-10 hours of gameplay, you'd be able to start making more public. I think so too. And why we've put so much emphasis on, or not emphasis. So, like we've been kind of having to. We haven't released any new art updates in a while. Little things like those campsites were, a little bit of art changed to the map, and a little bit, well, quite a bit actually, with a new little area. But our artist has really been working hard on this new area, and I think that if we pull it off right, like we're wanting to, it will add several more hours of gameplay. I think it could be really good. So we're excited about that. Yeah, what, you like being in purple? Yeah, he's down to purple, guys. Don't even worry about it. But that's an interesting idea. I've never heard of anybody doing that idea where you can upload your character and then someone else can summon that person to fight them as like an AI fight. That could be really interesting. I've never heard of that idea. I do want to get more support in for mages. And there's like a lot of spells. Here's what else I want to get in. Because like there's a lot of spells that rely on a throw mechanic. Because like, okay, so like arc right now, the arc spell is pretty powerful because it goes forward in a straight line with no trajectory, right? And you might think that's not important, but that's a pretty big deal because it's like really, I don't know, you got to be careful with how you let spells, how far you let spells go. Because like what that does is, I don't know, it's a pretty big deal to be able to cheese somebody with like arc from this, that far away. And so spells, one of the things we're doing with balancing is we're going to make them have a distance to them, have spells that can go a far distance, but basically what it boils down to is they'll need to be very oh no, I did it again, guys. I killed myself. I can't get over that crack. Anyway, we just want throwing like limited by how far you can throw is a good limitation. Distance is just really powerful, I guess, in this game, if that makes sense. Like ranged weapons are going to be powerful. There's a big balance that has to happen between melee and ranged combat on which one's more powerful. And if some people aren't very good at melee combat, and so they'll just go with range, and that's fine. There's not one won't be more powerful necessarily than the other. It'll just be a little more suited to the individual's play style, if that makes sense. And so spells are going to kind of round the horn with everything. They'll have melee range spells, like really far distance range spells. It's gonna be crazy. So we just gotta be careful with what we let spells do. Oh man, that roll saved my life that time. Run past him. That barrel almost got me. Gotta go drink my potion, guys. Man, this guy's hard. The stomp technique's working out, though. More types of food. That's a good idea. And also, not only more types of food, but what if we also had like a support for an alchemy system or something? I know crafting was another big one that people said. Later quests. Game would essentially give a series of large islands and tons of oceans, making the ocean nothing but a wrought iron gate to ensure players will want to grind money levels before going to the next island would truly be a shame. Will there be hidden islands, underwater fortresses to explore, giant sea serpents? Yes, we've actually talked about how we can do underwater areas and sort of use all of this ocean space that we have. Because you're right, it would be a shame if we let all of that to go to waste. So we don't want to do that. We want to utilize it. Man, he's like killing the crap out of me. Ooh. Oh, I died because of his fire damage. Yeah, I think that's a good idea of having a lot in the ocean to explore. That's one thing that we definitely want to do, so I like that idea. So maybe we'll do that. But anyway, yeah, it's been pretty good. So back to what I was saying about spells and their balancing spells, because like spells are going to have all the different things. They'll be melee ranged, medium ranged, and even long range spells like arc, which are going to be as long as ranged as like arrows. And so because there's so much variety in spells, it's going to take a long time for us to balance them and not make mages just straight up too powerful. They're going to be pretty powerful, and if nothing else, they're going to be very like dynamic, right? Like they'll have an answer to almost every situation just by their nature. But we're going to make them have to, work to get to that point. It's not just going to be you can be amazing as a mage from day one. You have to work up to it. So, as everything, we just want to make sure it's balanced. Man, this guy, he just never stops. Why'd the devs program him to be so hard? He's in his deep red wounds. And so one of the things that we need to get in order to continue our spell balancing is a good solid throwing animation, like like you'd throw a rock or a baseball or something, because like fireball is going to be a thrown spell. Like you'll chuck it and it'll be good. And if you guys were watching like 3 months ago, so it's the first month, so more like 4 months ago now, back in maybe October, or maybe it was November, I showed us, or maybe it was even in the summer. I don't remember. It was earlier, though, but I showed, like, these first spells that I was working on. Arc was one of them. And, like, the ones I was working on then didn't even make it in. They're still not even in. They're still kind of around. But one of them was Ice Javelin, where you actually throw this javelin that, you chuck it, and, like, it shows the trajectory line of you throwing it and everything. And that's still in. And not only would it be good to do that, but it would also be good to get like spells that rely on throwing and how hard and how far you can throw it, but also throwing objects like throwing knives, even rocks and other things that you could throw for various purposes, like pulling some enemies or distracting people. When we get our stealth system in, something like that could be pretty cool. Like you throw a rock and then they go and look at it. Anyway, different throwing weapons And then that would unlock several spells that would rely also on the throwing mechanic. And just the idea that we've had in our minds for a long time about how, since everything is technically a usable item, like this shield, for instance, if I put it in my X and push that button, he should be trying to throw it, because right now it's just sort of sitting there, not doing anything. So normally you would throw that, if that makes sense, which I think it does, because we've talked about that a lot. So getting throwing in is a pretty big, like, basic game mechanic that we've been wanting to get in for a while. It's about time I blew this guy up. Oh yeah, there's another bug. We need to get that. We need to get those capes physicalized so that they fall down and they don't just stand there. Anyway, all right, let's get his loot. So we got a really good sword. This thing was owning me. So I'm going to use that now. And I'm going to use his shield too. This thing was good. And he has awesome pants. So let's take his pants off. That's always fun. Oh man, his cloak is way good. Okay, cloak. Pretty much amazing now. I'm wearing a leather chest piece. Alright, we're good. Oh yeah, now I got it. I'm so heavy. You like can't even jump in the air at all. But I'm pretty cool. So anyway, speaking of mages, one advantage spells have above other weapons in the current build is that they bypass shields. Your spells do the same damage whether an enemy is blocking or not. Is this an intentional design choice that's here to stay, or a quirk of the programming that's yet to be worked out? And if it's intentional, will there be special shields and/or enchantments that allow the player to block magic? So probably shields will get more complicated, and blocking in general will get more complicated, and actually blocking a spell probably will have some effect if it hits your shield. So yeah, that, to answer your question, it's probably just when you get hit, you kind of get hit. That's just the way it is right now. But we are detecting, but we're not utilizing what type of magic you're casting when you get hit, or you got hit by and things like that. And that's actually how we're reducing death magic. It already knows that that's a death type spell. Could different spells cause different effects? Say fire cause a morale drop to nearby enemies. Yeah. Or ice, let's see. Enemies cause attack damage to drop slightly, or ice that froze on a creature to block into a block of ice for a short time, for 20 seconds. Yeah. So I think that that idea of all of one general type of magic will generally have an effect on the people, and then some spells will straight up have an effect, probably it will be on a spell by spell basis, but ice spells will generally have they'll generally do some sort of ice, like slowing or stunning or something like that. And then fire could do like what you said. It could cause people to, their attacks to be, I don't know. Who knows what fire could do? It could do something. I guess if I was on fire, what would it be happening to me? I'd probably try to run away and stop, drop, and roll. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I think that that's something that we definitely want to consider, is that generally the spells do, one thing. I think that's the spells generally follow a pattern. Like if you're an ice blood, you'll probably have generally, good abilities to slow people down, maybe even to freeze them for a little while, stuff like that. So yes, to answer your question, they won't, of necessity have those abilities, but generally speaking, they'll probably have that a lot to do with stuff like that. So, but yeah, I definitely want to work on spells. I think it would be nice to get spells to a point where we could actually get our system in where we don't just give you all the shards at once. There's, you might have to collect 7 or 8 different shards. No, not that many. You might have to collect 2 or 3 different shards to get all of the spells, just depending on your luck and things like that. And, there's ways to get them. Adding in enemy mages would also be good. And then adding in supporting clothing. So if we had if we could get in a few different types of bloods, or two different type of stones. Like right now, I can't even remember. There's 5 or 6, but if we could get in, 5 to 8, well, from where we're at now to maybe several more, including getting the death blood in, and then we had like maybe 5 to 6 spells on each one instead of the current 1 to 2, then that would help get mages to the point where that would help them go a long way. And then if there was enemy mages, and those enemy mages dropped clothing and other things to help you be a better mage, that would also help. And there's like some balancing I want to do to make the fire, or I'm thinking of the fire spell, but just to make mages more fun. Ichor costs might be too high. Maybe like the interval at which the damage is dealt is too long. Things like that. And like how like the Ichor sickness works, like we need to probably think of a new way so that certain spells are kind of messed up with the way our current Ichor sickness works out. So there's like several things like that we need to do. But after we get that done, I really do think that it will make mages a lot more fun. And maybe that's something we should focus on, because we have them in, and it could make them it could make them pretty cool. So making mages cool would be a good idea. So anyway, I know bows, a lot of people want bows, and I want bows in too. And we've actually been looking at how other people do bows and how we want to do bows, and I think we have some pretty good ideas on where to start with, on where we want to go with our bows. And so hopefully you guys will think it's cool too once we get it in. These guys are brutal, aren't they? Yep, they will kill you. I know, and I think we need the Ichor bar, and that was another point that somebody made. We need the bars to either be they need to be more visible. Like, what we were thinking is that when you're getting low, the lower you get, they might start glowing, or on all of them, not just Ichor. And Ichor would be the higher that you get. But like in stamina, for instance, you're getting low on stamina, it starts maybe like glowing, and then after you are fully out, like after you've run out, it like gets pretty bright, so that there's a clear indicator that catches your eye that's like, oh, I'm out of stamina, I can't roll, or whatever I was planning on doing, if that makes sense. So that's another visual change that we want to make as well. But anyway, I guess, yeah, maybe what we need to do here is just write down, like, because we have a lot of the basics of a lot of the systems in. Like, we have the basics of the melee combat in, and it's maybe a little further along than some of the other ones, but it's probably not where it needs. Like, we need the dual wielding in. We need two-handed swords need to be in. I know a few different animations to support a couple of the different, like, play styles need to be in. So there's still some stuff to do there. So maybe what we should do is just write down, like, what we want to do with each system, and then just start working on getting it down. And then that way, when the new area comes in that we're working on, we'll have like a really solid game to go with it, and the gameplay, like solid gameplay to go with it. So there's 2 things necessary for mages to be stronger. Give the player the ability to increase their max Ichor, which they can. I thought maybe they can't, but I think actually maybe that was added. If not, then it will be. And 2, calculate Ichor dissipation by percentage rather than raw number, so that you don't have to wait a half hour to get a full or empty bar. Yeah, that's true. And ways to increase, like, get better at dispersing it. In a lot of games, when you start dying, the screen starts to get blood spatters. Yeah, there could be a way that we could visually indicate to the player that, like, your Ichor is getting really high. It could even, maybe be like a silhouette around the screen. Something like that. You guys are thinking like we're thinking. On, kind of how we wanted to have some sort of indicator to the player that something bad's happening to him. So that's what we'll do. But it should be just fine. Or we should be able to get it, so. Anyway, maybe that's what we'll do, and then we'll try and give an update on what we're going to be working on and what we want to work on and what we hope to accomplish in the coming weeks and with our updates. Like, we should probably write down a timeline for ourselves and try to get as close to we can at it, but start working on knocking things out. So, yep, should be good. Spears could be a bit more moves to make them more useful. Yeah, I agree with you. Spears could definitely. We got their main animation. They have like 2 slightly different animations, but there could be more. You know, they could do more. I totally agree with you. So, spears are that way. So are like, yeah. What if Icor, instead of causing damage, made the player slow and sluggish, so they had to walk slowly, couldn't swing weapons and other things? It'd be like a magical hangover. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna make it do damage, but I don't think it's gonna be just this health degeneration, like just a strict health degeneration. That looks really good. Just the way the shadows fall on that. It's like this is like a good time at night when the colors are kind of starting to. Anyway. Yeah, blocking is really powerful right now. That's all right though, because if you think about it in real life, like blocking is just kind of what blocking is. It is OP. The conservative people will not die as much. Shields are going to get changed though. Shields are going to be we're going to make it so that shields aren't, you know, they're going to be a little more interesting. But melee combat's tough because while it is the one we've worked on the most, it's also the most deep, like, has the most depth to it, because there's just so many subtleties that you have to take into account for. Yeah. There's a good comparison between Icor and alcohol. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think we'll figure out exactly. Icor damage probably needs to be changed, and then, like I said, the interval at which, particularly the one I'm thinking of, is fire. Let's see. Let's get it down here. Yeah, it's like every half second, and it just ticks up. It probably ticks up too quickly for how much damage it does, and then it disperses really slowly unless you eat melons, which I don't have any. Oh, I do have a melon. We need to make melons stack, don't we? Or we need to make it so that you can make potions which makes melons stack. Something like that. But basically, I agree with you guys about needing to find a way to make mages more a route you could go down and start from the beginning to start trying to get into magic. So, very good chance that we'll work on that soon as well. But hopefully the little things that we've added, the sound effects and the hopefully the sound effects and things like that make it a little more oh no eating noises. I totally forgot. You just have to make those yourself. I killed myself. He didn't even kill me. Anyway. I died, guys. Well, like I said, there wasn't a ton to show today, so I knew it was going to be a little shorter, but if you guys have any more thoughts or questions, then let us know, and we'll try to get back to you. But I think for the most part, it's just going to be a smaller update, and then we're going to start working on some bigger features that will come out soon. I don't know if we're going to do... I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I kind of want to get throwing in because there's a lot that could go with it, and some other mechanics I think could be nice, so... I can't remember what exactly, but the fire spell did something weird if you cast it at rocks. I don't know. Maybe it can. Okay. Let's go cast this fire spell at some rocks. Did it light the rocks on fire? Dang it. Ugh. I can't get up there. I gotta cast this. Oh. Just that it lights them on fire. I mean, it probably shouldn't light them on fire, but I guess it's kind of what I'd expect the behavior to be. Will there be alcohol? That's a good question. I don't know. That's something we haven't thought about. I mean, we have food, so we haven't really thought about what else. I'm sure we'll have other types of food and things like that, but haven't thought about it too much myself. Yeah, we need to fix Icor Cygnus to do something more interesting, I think. So if a player becomes a battle mage, weapons and magic, can we fire some form of spell that fires out of weapons for reduced but range damage? So yeah, like I think how it's going to work is that by default, like you're going to cast out of your hands, but then we're probably going to add like it where he wants to cast if he's holding a weapon in his hand. Like right now, I'm holding a sword in my hand, but it's getting overloaded by the spell. Like we did that on purpose because of what I'm saying here. Like you can see my sword right there, but by putting a spell there, I like override the sword. We did that because of exactly what you're saying. Like he's going to cast it with his sword. We haven't added that functionality in, but we knew that we were going to. So like when you get the staff and stuff, and when we add this functionality in, it's something that needs to be done for mages. Yeah, that's actually going to be something that he'll do, and it's not just if you override the sword. Like if you have a sword in your hand at all, he'll use the sword to cast it. So even these other spells, like my healing spell, my stomp spell, even though he doesn't, cast it from his hands or whatever, but it will still be like the sword is still the catalyst that he's using to cast his magic, as long as he's holding it. So, like, maybe you could kind of think about it like this: like your hands will have a magic modifier of 1. They won't make your magic any more or less powerful. And then certain catalysts out there, like that mage guy, his staff, the death blood, that might like increase death blood magic with a modifier of like 1.3, but it might hurt all other magic and take that down to like a 0.8 or something like that. And your hands will always remain at 1. This sword might reduce all magic to like 0.4. So you can still cast it, but it sucks. And then what this allows us to do is you could then potentially find swords out there or whatever that you could find swords out there that have a high modifier, like maybe 0.9, and it's still a sword, so you can still be, that would be where your battle mage would come in. You could still swing this sword and fight with it, but then you would have other spells in your hands or whatever to cast out of that sword, and it wouldn't get in your way of being a battle mage. But generally speaking, just your average weapon out there will reduce it. So like if you're fully loaded out to be a Fireblood, then you would find some sort of Fireblood catalyst, some wand or staff or something that made all your Fireblood spells awesome, and maybe it hurt your other spells, but you don't care because you're a Fireblood, and so, that's what you're going to use, and that'll be the best for you, if that makes sense. Like, it'll probably always be beneficial to you to use a catalyst for the spells that you want to cast, but there probably won't be any such thing as a catalyst that only helps one type of magic or all types of magic and doesn't hurt at all. So like your hands, for those who want to be like the pure, rounded out mage, they'll probably want to use their hands or maybe another catalyst that keeps it at 1 but maybe disperses Icor or something like that. That would be how you would remain a pure mage, if that makes sense. And then, becoming a Fireblood would be you'd find that Fireblood catalyst, and it would, hurt your other sources of magic, but you wouldn't care. And then weapons would generally hurt everything, and the degree to which they hurt them would be dependent on how much attunement or how attuned that weapon is, and that could even be something we could have here, like, well, whatever. It could be just another statistic of the weapon. So that is sort of the more in-depth version of where Magic's going to go in the future. If that was enlightening to you, I don't know. I don't know that we've ever actually expressed that, so maybe that was new to you guys, but that's kind of the direction that we wanted to take it, because that system allows us to have all Firebloods, or all, like, if you want to be a battle mage, you can do it with that system. If you want to be a pure mage, you can do it. If you want to be a pure Fireblood, you can do it. Just allows you to totally, like, specialize however you want. So we think it's a pretty good system. And I really love Magic. I like to play as Magic users on these kind of games a lot. I was one in all the Elder Scrolls games, and I even tried to be one in the Dark Souls games. It just wasn't as fun. It still worked, but it wasn't as fun to me. But oh, I might have just crashed. I don't know why, but my computer's been getting super unstable lately. And anyway, this is a good time to end it anyway. So hopefully you guys will. Yeah, I'll have to look and see why that does it, but I'll keep this. I'll keep this stream open. I'll stay on the chat for a while. If you guys want to talk more about, like why and what Magic is, I'll just stay in the chat with you guys and talk more about it. There's one more question I'll answer. It says, or maybe a comment. The classic D&D system is such that the path to a spellcaster is a harder one, so perhaps mages should begin weaker but gain power to unleash holy destruction. Also, what I mean is that you could cast a spell on your sword so that when it's swung, it fires magic blast. Okay, so like you're talking about like I'm going to cast something on my sword to make it more, may shoot fire or make it like stronger. Yeah, there will be magic that is specifically for making your weapons better. So that even gives people an incentive to go into Magic who are just pure melee guys. But, again, we'll have to find out exactly how it's going to be balanced so that the people who are pure melee know Magic, we'll have to find out how that's balanced. Maybe another aspect of attunement is that how well it takes a magical charge, so anyway, a lot to consider, but definitely I feel like the groundwork and the idea is pretty solid, and the implementation it will start to kind of come together as the more that we get it there. So anyway, like I said, I'll hang around in the chat, and thank you guys for joining us this week. So the patch is mostly going to be fixes and stuff, but we're going to get in some more quests this next week. We're going to get in hopefully a new feature, either maybe bows, or maybe we'll work on more spells or throwing. Bows or throwing is what I would like, actually. I think would make the game open some more doors for us. And then and those quests, and that's where I want to go with it next. So hopefully that's good for everyone else. And anyway, we'll talk to you guys, and we'll see you guys a little bit later. Thanks for joining us. See you guys.